a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronald Antonio O'Sullivan is an English professional snooker player. Regarded as one of the greatest players in the history of the sport, he has been described by fellow professionals and commentators as a genius. A child prodigy, O'Sullivan began playing snooker at age 7, made his first competitive century break at the age of 10, and his first competitive maximum break at age 15. He turned professional in 1992, aged 16, and achieved his first major professional success when he won the 1993 UK Championship at the age of 17 years and 358 days, making him the youngest player ever to win a ranking title, a record he still holds as of 2018. He is also the youngest player to have won the Masters, having captured his first title in 1995 at the age of 19 years and 69 days. At this point in his career, O'Sullivan has won 5 World Championships, a record 7 Masters titles, and a joint record 6 UK Championships, equaling Stephen Hendry's record of 18 Triple Crown wins. His career total of 32 ranking titles is second only to Hendry's 36, while his estimated career earnings of £9.5 million put him in first place on snooker's all-time prize money list. A prolific break builder, he holds the records for the most competitive century breaks, the most ratified maximum breaks in professional competition, and the fastest competitive maximum break, compiled in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Based at the Legends Snooker Academy in Leytonstone. He also plays pool, and competed on the Elite International Pool Tour in 2005. Throughout his career, O'Sullivan has been noted for his mercurial temperament, and has received multiple warnings and sanctions from the sport's governing body relating to his conduct and comments. He has an ambivalent relationship with the sport, from which he has taken prolonged sabbaticals and repeatedly threatened to retire. Amateur career, early achievements. O'Sullivan started playing snooker from just 7 years old, and showed a considerable natural talent for the game, winning his first club tournament aged 9 and scoring his first century break aged 10. O'Sullivan's first major success was becoming the 1988 British Under-16 champion, aged 13. A year later, O'Sullivan made a big breakthrough at a professional amateur tournament in Stevenage. He defeated world number 34 Marcel Gauvreau 3-2 in the quarter-finals, with a break of 120 in the deciding frame before progressing to the final and defeating fellow amateur Anthony Hamilton for the title. Afterwards, Gauvreau described O'Sullivan's play as unbelievable, and that no one's ever played that well against me. Still aged 14, O'Sullivan made his television debut at the Thames Snooker Classic. He made a televised 75 break during his quarter-final match, which was commentated on by Steve Davis, before being defeated at the semi-final stage. 2 years later, O'Sullivan reached the final of the 1991 English Amateur Championship, where he fell 10-13 to Steve Judd. During the tournament, he became the youngest player ever to compile a maximum break in a recognised tournament. Later the same year, O'Sullivan defeated Patrick Dell semi-11-4 for the 1991 IBSF World Under-21 Snooker Championship title. O'Sullivan's last notable amateur achievement before turning professional was capturing the 1991 Junior Pot Black title, defeating Declan Murphy 2-0 in the final. 1992-1993 season, qualifying success, first professional title, Crucible debut. Throughout O'Sullivan's debut season, he won 74 of his 76 qualifying matches. This included a winning streak of 38 successive victories, surpassing the previous record held by Stephen Hendry, and a record quick victory, winning a best-of-9 frame match in 43 minutes, to beat Tony Draga's previous record. After this performance, MC Alan Hughes first gave him the nickname, The Rocket. O'Sullivan also won his first title as a professional, the non-ranking Extra Challenge in Bangkok, triumphing over John Parrott, James Watana, and Alan McManus in the round-robin format. O'Sullivan qualified for the World Championship and made his debut at the Crucible Theatre on the 18th of April 1993, at the age of 17 years and 134 days, and he is still the third youngest player ever to compete at the venue, behind Luc Aubricel and Stephen Hendry. He lost 7-10 to Alan McManus in the first round. O'Sullivan was named the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association's Young Player of the Year for 1993. 1993-1994 season, historic UK Championship and British Open titles, Masters debut. In the 1993-1994 season, O'Sullivan enjoyed more success by first qualifying for the Masters as a wildcard by winning the 1993 Benson and Hedges Snooker Championship by defeating John Lardner 9-6 in the final. Then O'Sullivan captured his first professional ranking title and first part of the Triple Crown, the UK Championship, by defeating Stephen Hendry 10-6 in the final. At the age of 17 years and 358 days, he became the youngest ever winner of a ranking tournament, making his debut at the Masters. He lost in the first round 1-5 to Dennis Taylor. He won his second ranking title of the season at the British Open by defeating James Wattana 9-4 in the final. He reached the second round of the World Championship, but lost 3-13 against John Parrott. Having started the season ranked number 57 in the world, he ended it ranked number 9, and was named the WSA's Player of the Year for 1994. 1994-1995 season, Masters title, 2 ranking event finals. O'Sullivan did not win any ranking titles during the 1994-1995 season, but reached 2 finals. He lost to James Wattana in the final of the Thailand Open and to John Higgins in the final of the British Open. At the Masters, O'Sullivan captured his first title by defeating Higgins 9-3 in the final. With this victory, he became the youngest player ever to win the tournament at the age of 19 years and 69 days, and came a step closer to collecting all the Triple Crown events, only requiring a world title to complete his collection. At the World Championship, he recorded his furthest run yet by reaching the quarter-finals, where he lost 8-13 to Stephen Hendry. 1995-1996 season, Masters runner-up. Controversy at the Crucible. In the 1995-1996 season, O'Sullivan again did not capture any ranking titles, but was victorious at the non-ranking Charity Challenge, defeating John Higgins 9-6 in the final. As defending champion, O'Sullivan reached the final of the Masters, but lost his title 5-10 to Stephen Hendry. For the first time, O'Sullivan reached the World Championship semi-finals, but lost 14-16 to Peter Ebdon. After his 10-3 first-round victory over Alain Robideau, Robideau accused O'Sullivan of showing disrespect after he had played left-handed during the match. Robideau refused to shake hands with O'Sullivan at the end of the match. O'Sullivan responded by saying that he was better left-handed than Robideau is right-handed. Later during the tournament, before his quarter-final match with John Higgins, O'Sullivan was involved in an incident with assistant press officer Michael Ganley in the press room. O'Sullivan admitted to assaulting Ganley during the incident. For this, snooker's governing body, the WSA, gave O'Sullivan a 2-year suspended ban, a £20,000 fine, and advised him to donate £10,000 to charity, but allowed him to continue competing at the event. 1996-1997 season, Masters runner-up, Asian Classic and German Open titles, fastest ever maximum break. In the 1996-1997 season, O'Sullivan won 2 ranking titles, the Asian Classic by narrowly defeating Brian Morgan 9-8 in the final, and the German Open by defeating Alain Robideau 9-7 in the final. O'Sullivan again reached the final of the Charity Challenge, where he faced Stephen Hendry in a first-to-9-frame match. O'Sullivan trailed 2-8 before winning 6 frames in a row to level at 8-8, before Hendry won the deciding frame with a maximum break. At the Masters, O'Sullivan reached his 3rd consecutive final, where he faced Steve Davis. After O'Sullivan took the first 2 frames with back-to-back century breaks of 116 and 113, the 3rd frame was disrupted by a streaker, Leanne Croft. Davis later stated that the streaking incident affected O'Sullivan's concentration, allowing him back into the match, and the afternoon session ended all square at 4-4. O'Sullivan began the evening session by winning 4 frames in 49 minutes to take an 8-4 lead, but Davis fought back to win the next 6 frames and clinch the title with a 10-8 victory. On the 21st of April 1997, while playing Mick Price in the first round of the World Championship, O'Sullivan made the fastest ever competitive maximum break in 5 minutes and 20 seconds, an average of one shot every 8.8 seconds. This was also O'Sullivan's first maximum break in professional competition. He exited the World Championship in the second round, losing 12-13 against Darren Morgan. O'Sullivan also won the non-ranking European League, defeating Hendry 10-8 in the final. 1997-1998 season, UK Championship and Scottish Open titles. O'Sullivan captured 2 more ranking titles in the 1997-1998 season, by beating 3-time defending champion Stephen Hendry 10-6 in the final. O'Sullivan won his second UK Championship title. O'Sullivan also triumphed at the Scottish Open by defeating John Higgins 9-5 in the final. For the third year in a row, O'Sullivan made the final of the Charity Challenge. He was defeated, like the year previous, in a final frame decider, 8-9 to John Higgins. For the first time in 3 years, O'Sullivan did not reach the final at the Masters, losing to Steve Davis after defeating Ken Doherty 9-3 in the final of the Irish Masters. A post-match drug test found traces of cannabis in his system. O'Sullivan was stripped of the title, forfeited of the prize money, and the title was awarded to Doherty by the WSA. O'Sullivan reached the World Championship semi-finals for the second time in his career, but lost 9-17 to eventual champion John Higgins. 1998-1999 season, no major or ranking success. O'Sullivan began the 1998-1999 season by winning the non-ranking Scottish Masters, but went on to win no more titles during the season. At the UK Championship, O'Sullivan was defending champion, but withdrew from the tournament shortly before his scheduled first-round match. His manager stated that he was suffering from physical and nervous exhaustion, and that his doctor had ordered a complete rest from snooker. Later reports stated instead that he was suffering from depression at the time. In the quarter-finals of the Welsh Open, O'Sullivan made the second maximum of his professional career, playing against James Watt-Hanna. O'Sullivan reached the quarter-finals of the Masters, but lost 2-6 to Ken Doherty. In his fourth consecutive final in the Charity Challenge, and in a repeat outcome of last year's final, O'Sullivan lost to John Higgins again, this time 9-4. At the World Championship, O'Sullivan reached his third semi-final in 4 years. But he was again denied a place in the final when he lost 13-17 to Stephen Hendry in a high-quality match that featured century breaks in 4 consecutive frames. 1999 2000th season, China and Scottish Open titles. At the beginning of the 1999 2000th season, O'Sullivan reached the final of the one-off non-ranking Millennium Cup. However, he lost 2-7 to Stephen Lee. Throughout the rest of the season, O'Sullivan won 2 ranking tournaments, the China Open, where he defeated Lee 9-2 in the final, and the Scottish Open, where he defeated Mark Williams 9-1 in the final. At the Grand Prix and Scottish Open, O'Sullivan hit his third and fourth competitive maximum breaks of his career. Competing for England, O'Sullivan was part of the winning Nations Cup team, partnering John Parrott, Jimmy White and Stephen Lee. They defeated defending champions Wales 6-4 in the final. In the Triple Crown events, O'Sullivan did not experience any winning success, losing at the quarter-final stages of both the UK Championship and Masters, 3-9 to Matthew Stevens and 3-6 to John Parrott respectively, and losing in the first round of the World Championship, 9-10 to David Gray, despite becoming the first player to compile 5 century breaks in a first-round match at the Crucible. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?